Hey guys, Jazz here for a little reading. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just checking that everything's sort of like lined up. Okay, so I was sitting down earlier and then I was like, oh, I better do a reading today because I don't plan them. And yeah, here we are. And as I was shuffling the cards before, some came out, so I'm going to go through them in a minute. Hope everyone is doing well. I feel like it's been a bit tough for some of us, or a lot of us. In some ways at some times, but we are getting through it. And sorry, yeah. Yeah, getting through the thick of it, and really, really, my voice just then, it was funny. Really upgrading at the moment. Yeah. So I didn't know, like I haven't really been doing divine masculine, divine feminine readings, but I had this thought just before. I was like, oh, I wonder if it will be a divine masculine, divine feminine reading, and I think it might be because the divine masculine wanted my attention just now. And I didn't say anything, so I haven't missed what they said, but then I just tuned in and I heard it's not over yet. So that might mean something to someone out there, and this might be a divine masculine and divine feminine reading. So we will see what comes out, but no matter what, like everything can relate to the person, everything. What I mean is anything can apply to either one, but if I get any specific messages from either one, I will, they will come through. I'll leave that for later. Okay, so the Ace of Pentacles came out as I was shuffling before turning the camera on. And this is like a new, it looks like an offer, right? And I was going to say it's a new start, a new beginning in the physical form. I feel like there's been an end, or they want me to say, so anything I say, it just comes into my mind. There's been an end of a cycle, and this is a new beginning, yeah, in the physical. There's a lot of happy vibes around, like a lot of loving vibes. Yeah, and what else came out was the Four of Wands, which is like, I was just thinking about, these happy vibes and people getting together and celebrating, and the Four of Wands came out, which is all about celebration and coming together. And it's actually, in the traditional tarot, it is like a wedding card. So I'm just gonna say what's coming through. There's unions happening, and it's actually a cool day, and I'm actually really warm today. So like, just in case, like, not that you'd be wondering why I'm not wearing a jumper or something, because you don't know what temperature it is here, but it's warm. And so there's a lot of energy, a lot of loving energy, a lot of comforting energy going around, and a lot of belief in each other, which is really beautiful. And I know there's a festival going on this weekend, which people that I know are going to, and I'm sure it's going to be really fun. And this is symbolic of like people getting together and having fun. And then we have the overcome any obstacle card, the Rhino. So the Rhino literally like smashes through things. I mean, if you've played Donkey Kong on the Nintendo, you would know this. It can, you know, smash through anything, and they want to remind you that you can get through anything. Like, no matter what, you have got this in the bag. It's okay. And this is a message going out to the masculines, but I think also the feminines too, because I feel like there's a balance of masculine and feminine energy going through the obstacle stuff, which makes sense because the mirroring of the whole setup of energies, but also the contrast. So it's like you might mirror each other, and then you might go off into your own little thing to do what you need to do, and then you'll come back and mirror each other for a bit, and then so it's like with this information that comes through teamwork. So this is like the teamwork card. Through the information that comes through the teamwork of the collaboration of the two or more people, but we're talking about, you know, relations between two people here. This is a soul reading, soul love. And with the coming together and the teamwork, we learn things, we shed light, and we learn things about ourselves that we see in our mirror. It's either something we don't like, something we're not comfortable with, something that we need that we're not getting, and it shows us what we need to work on. And that's exactly what this Knight of Swords is doing. Excuse me. They are running hard to get on that bike of action within the cognitive and mental space, and so the cognitive space where, you know, thought and everything is you know, our brain synapses network informs our body and what we feel. So with this, taking this action into the mental space is all about exploring what is actually going on within themselves. And this is definitely something that I think women or feminine have done for a long time, always reflecting, talking about things, wanting things to be better, blah blah blah, pushing for things to be better. And the masculine have a lot of them have not been able to provide or give what they felt was needed. But these guys are doing a lot of work on that. And the King of Pentacles is here, so eventually the mastery of the mind has to come first, and then you can sort of master your physical, like, and this is about mastering the physical realm. Because we literally manifest our external reality with our minds, and I've spoken about this before, and lots of people have. So, you know, literally, like, I'm not gonna do something in the physical unless I've got something that's informing my body, which is my mind, to actually act. And so that's what's happening. There's exploration into the emotional and the mental spaces. And then we have the Six of Swords. So this is also like taking a new direction in the cognitive space. So, you know, there's some sadness there. There's a suitcase there. She's moving, leaving something behind and moving on. And, you know, just sort of thinking about, yeah, no, I'm not going to go back. So whoever this applies to, you've come from somewhere that wasn't working, and you're on your way into a new, new, like it's almost at shore, like the boat's almost at shore, like yeah, you're literally about to embark on this new land. And what's gonna get you through this embarkment, is that the word, onto new land, and coping with the changes of everything, is strength. And what is required there is to tap into knowing that you'll get through this, like knowing that it's going to happen. You can't fail. It's tough. It's really tough. It's so tough at the moment. For a lot of us, it might feel, yeah, it might feel really tough, but like it'll get easier. It'll yeah. And what comes with the change and adaptation into new surroundings is expansion of oneself, and like tapping into new skills or skills that you haven't required in a while, and then so in terms of like socializing or communication, or even just being yourself, because you might not have been able to do that in the past. Excuse me. So what comes with all of that, the adaptation is a perspective change, and a change of heart, and a change of being. So that's really amazing, and like you're onto it. Whoever's watching this, you are onto it, and you are on your way. And we have the butterfly here, which is about transformation. So that's literally what's happening. And you'll notice, I mean, time gets faster, you know, as it goes on, but there's this life is speeding up card. So with transformation and aligning to what is actually best for you, instead of chasing things and places that you can't get what you need, transformation is when you accept what you need and make what you need happen. And when everything sort of starts aligning, it does feel like you lose sense of time, and you come into the present moment, and time flies by. And you know when time's flying by, when you're in your, how am I trying? I'm explaining this really hard. Like, this is really hard to explain. So you lose sense of time when you're not waiting, when you're acting, you lose sense of time. And all these transformations, all this growth is literally speeding up the manifestation of the life that you want. So be patient, hold in there. Oh God, we've got transformation is beautiful. Life is speeding up. Now is a lucky time. Be here now. See the big picture. Now is a lucky time, and be here now. And I hadn't even looked at the cards, but saying to be in the present moment is the key, basically. When you realize that the only moment that you have is the present, fear can fall away, because your fear, I mean, you need the right circumstances to not have anxiety, like you need what you need, but you need to know, for example, you need to know where someone's intentions are in order to feel comfortable where you're at, giving them energy, for example. But when you come into that present moment, and you've got what you need in that present moment, which is, you know, what I just mentioned, fear falls away, because you've got your needs met, and you need to focus on the present moment and having your needs met in that present moment. Because if you're not having your needs met in that present moment, they're never getting met, then never will be met, because you're not acting in what's in alignment with your highest good. So be here now, and now is a lucky time. It sure is. There's no time like the present. So cliche. But yeah, coming into the present and making sure that your present self is happy, nurtured. You know, you don't even have to be happy. You could be grieving, but as long as you're nurturing yourself, as long as you've got, you know, you're not isolated, and you've got a friend that you can talk to if you need to, if you want to, and focus on what is happening for you now. Don't wait to act on that. If you can, be ready. Wait until you're ready, but if you're going through something traumatic, now is a really good time to start working on that, they're saying. Sorry, I hope this is a funny reading actually, to be honest, but anyway, see the big picture. So be in the present moment. And don't be afraid to have a vision in mind of where you'd like to be, and break that down into steps. And you know, when you focus on just the step that you're doing today, you eventually get to that big picture result. When you're going through shit that is really hard, it's really sometimes hard to see the big picture because you're stuck in the nucleus of a really tough time. So it requires that strength, and it requires, you know, challenging those perspectives that you're experiencing, and rebuilding yourself. So we've got the Eight of Pentacles here. This is the this is the new Vision Tarot, I think. Sorry. And so it requires work. And you don't have to build yourself up from the bottom. You know, this guy is actually chipping away at some rock and perfecting his external image to how he wants it to be. And I'm feeling like this is a pretty divine masculine reading. Yeah, I'm definitely channeling the divine masculine, but this is him doing the work, basically. And he's got his pouch of coins, or I assume it's a pouch of something, his treasure, whatever that is, something that means something to him. So he's prepared, and he's also got his hand out. So he's prepared to give and to take. And that's where it's got to be at. You need to be able to give. Sorry, you need to be able to take, as well as give. And if you can only take at some points, that's okay. And if you give too much, sometimes that's okay. But it's about receiving. They're focusing on. So receiving what's coming your way in terms of good vibes and what you deserve. Everyone deserves love. Everyone deserves to be heard. Everyone deserves to be able to communicate with someone safely in a safe space. Everyone deserves to be hugged and told that they're loved and that they're a good person and that they deserve those things. And to receive that is like, work on receiving it, masculines, because it's true. And you know, no matter if you fucked up, it doesn't matter if you fucked up. Like, people, You aren't your mistakes. You are not your mistakes, and you are not the mind action that made you do that thing, whatever it was. You might have multiple things that you're ashamed of that you go, why the fuck did I do that? And it's literally out of your control at that point. But what you can do is develop this relationship with your mind so that you don't fuck up in the future, which is what's happening. You're not fucking up in the future. So we've got the Queen of Wands here. So a lot of the feminines are leading by example, I'm hearing, and celebrating each other as well, which is super important. And we've got the celebration card here with the Three of Cups. The feminine is literally standing up and going, okay, I know that you've got shit. That's okay. I'm not going to expect more from you than what you can give. Like, in one hand on the back here, they've got the sunflower and the wand. And sunflowers are super meaningful to me. Like, the only flower I've probably ever grown from seed, the only thing I've ever grown from seed was a stack of some really tall sunflowers. And they mean happiness. It means strength to me, standing tall, being proud. And when you receive these loving things from other people, gestures, your cup will overfloweth, because we need to realize that we're worthy of what we're receiving, and we need to allow it to come in and fill us up. And you know, here there's some kids playing, you know, in the background in the water. It's like, be open to being pure again. Just because you've messed up does not mean you are not pure at heart, because a lot of things that people do, there are many reasons why people do things, but traumatized individuals do things when they're out of control, when they don't feel safe. And literally, like, what's coming is this ability to feel safe and be okay to let the guard down and be around people who actually love you. And here we have a Pegasus. Yeah, it's not a unicorn. So this woman is, you know, this Pegasus is flying towards her. Be open to the magic and be open to what is being offered to you, which is, you know, something being offered here in the normal depiction, like the person's like, you know, looking off into the distance, can't actually see the cup that's being offered, because need to process whatever's distracting you first in order to accept what is being offered to us. And we have the Nine of Wands here. So these masculines are really fighting a battle. Like, there's a bear there, and the masculines are standing there. There's no one else. There's a bunch of wands, but this fight will not end up in the masculine being ripped to shreds. It's not. It's a fight that he can fight, and leaving behind sorry, I was taking this card. leaving the drama behind, basically, is what I just heard. Dropping the fight, dropping the fight, actually, because, you know, he could just go, okay, bugger this, I'm not doing this, you know, I'll see you later, bear. Yeah. And they're not going to give up. It's not going to happen. They've found this newfound strength, the masculines, and they're not going to give up on themselves, first and foremost, and they're not going to give up on going for what is most important for everyone's well-being. Sweet results await. So that's the end of this reading. Sweet results await is basically like what I said before, like the fight is going to be dropped, the drama is going to be dropped. They're building themselves anew. And there's like cogs on this bee, from what I can see, like cog type things. And, you know, a bee is tiny, but metaphorically speaking, a bee is tiny, but they're super powerful little beings. And these masculines, you know, they're so long, they've got such a bad rap, and, you know, probably rightly so, because a lot of them represent, or some of them have represented the majority, and it's been really tough for them to evolve because they've had jobs to do. So literally, you know, the masculine has really been involved in creating, you know, doing a lot of physical work, keeping society going, I'm hearing. And women, you know, are the same, but we've had the opportunity to evolve. And I think men are now entering that opportunity a little bit later. Yeah, because the status quo is changing. But anyway, that's today's reading. I hope it helped some of you. It might have been a little bit convoluted or a bit all over the place, but that's that. Take care, and I will see you soon.